This is the story of the evolution of an idea using design thinking principles. Hi, my name is Suteja, and welcome to my story. The project brief asked to develop a mobile application focused on learning new vocabulary. Since this was my first foray into design thinking, I was quite excited to flesh out the seedling of an idea into a full-fledged one using the framework. In the first stage, in the inspiration stage of the framework, I did some competitor analysis. I chose 5 different apps for this. From my findings and analysis, I figured that these apps mainly cater to users who wanted to learn a new language or who wanted to revise their study material. I then conducted some user research. I did a combination of face-to-face interviews and online surveys. And since I still did not have a clearly defined user demographic in mind, I conducted these user research and interviews with a student and with some who were just entering their career and some who were well established in their career as well. So what I figured from these interviews was that my users are usually on their laptop when they come across a new technical term or some facts that they want to quickly jot down. So this app had to somehow be part of their workflow. Only then would they use it again and again. The next step was to conceptualize. Now, since I knew my users to a certain extent, now I then created Rachel, who's my proto-persona. Rachel is 30 years old. She works for a tech company. She's in London and she's a product designer. Rachel usually reads a lot for work. She likes to upskill and she is constantly reading blogs about her industry and about work. What Rachel needs is an easy way to jot down new vocabulary that she comes across while reading a document or while listening to an audiobook. And she also wants to retrieve this new information on a later date, which she can use to generate new ideas or to create a document. So I then crafted a problem statement for Rachel, which is that Rachel needs a way to store new technical terms and facts that she comes across in her studies on the laptop or while listening to an audiobook with the least disruption to her workflow, so that she can then access all this information later to generate ideas and to create her presentations. The hypothesis was that this problem can be solved by creating an extension on the browser which will sync with the app for Rachel. She can then clip the information from what she's reading and push these new words and their definitions into the app, thus achieving a seamless creation of new vocabulary and definitions, which Rachel can later find categorized, visually displayed, and easily searchable on the app. The next step was to define a task which Rachel would do while using the app. So I defined 2 tasks to better understand the user flow. The first task that Rachel would embark on while using the app was to create and send a new word and its definition from the document to the app. So for this, assuming that Rachel has downloaded the extension of the app onto her browser, she would click on the browser extension and she would log in. She would enter the word that she wants to store and its definition, then select the category, either an existing category or she would create a new category, and then add tags for easy searching later on and then save the word. The next task that Rachel would probably do using the app was to retrieve a word and its definition that has been stored in the app. For this, Rachel would first open the app. She would log in, get onto the dashboard or the home screen. And does she know which category the word is stored in? If yes, she would select the category from the home screen and then select the word. If she does not know the category in which she stored the word, she would go to the search bar, find the word, type in the word first and then find it. Now that I had a better idea of what Rachel needs, and I've understood a little about the user flows, I then created the wireframes. The first wireframe is the desktop extension. So it's a scenario where Rachel would mostly find herself in. She would be reading a document. She would come across a word, which she would highlight and then right click when an option to send the word to the app would appear. At this point, I've named my app as Flash Notes. So she would then be asked to log in if she's not logged in already. The next screen would be a pop-up which would let her add in the new word and the definition. She could select the category, or she could create a new category and then save the word, which will be saved in the app. The next set of wireframes are on the app itself. The first set is the splash screen and the intro screen, which will showcase the features of the app. The next is the login screen and the sign up screen. The users can sign up using their social media login as well. The next screen is the onboarding screen, which shows all the features the app can offer. Then the home screen, which has all the categories with the cards in each category available. And then there's a big plus sign, which can be used to create a new word or a new category. The navigation bar gives easy access to all the functions or all the features the app offers. So from the navigation bar, you could create a new word, create a new category, search for a word, or change the settings. The next set of wireframes are when the category is clicked. So when a category is clicked from the home screen, all the cards available in the category are displayed. There's again an option to add a new card or a new category from here. When a particular card is clicked, the word is displayed and it can be flipped over to look at the definition. The home screen, there's access to home screen and to search a word, and to change settings always available in all the screens. The next set of wireframes is to add a new word or a category. So this wireframe is to add a new word. If the category is already exists, it can be selected from this drop-down menu, or the plus button can be clicked on when a new category can be added, and it's all saved with an option to add another word. The next set of wireframes is for searching a word. It's quite straightforward. This screen can be accessed by going on to the magnifying icon, or it can also be accessed from the navigation bar, and the results are displayed. And the last is the admin part of it. So the user can change the settings, and this can be accessed either from any of the screens and from the navigation bar. I then created a prototype with all these screens, and the next phase was the testing. So I ran some usability tests of the prototype. So while performing the usability tests, I had two important things in mind. One is to understand if the users could easily log in to the app and get into the home screen. And the second was to test the important features of the app. So the important features were to send the word and its definition from the desktop to the app. The second was to create a new word from the app. And the third was to create a new category from the app. And the fourth was to search a word in the app. So I've created the tasks based on the criteria which I just talked about. After the user testing, I came up with 10 different problems and sorted them based on the number of users who flagged these problems and the severity score. So I used the Jacob-Nielsen's severity score to rank each of the problems. I also did a visual representation of the problems so that I would get a better understanding of which ones I had to address first. So in this representation, I had the users on the x-axis and the severity of the problem on the y-axis. So from this, I decided to address the first 6 problems and change the wireframes accordingly. The first problem was that the intro screen should have clear instructions of how to get from the intro screen to the homepage or to the next screen. So to clearly represent this, I changed the welcome screen from just one to 4 different screens displaying each of the features of the app, and clearly had indications to swipe, and had indication to tap on the final screen so that they could move on to the next screen. The next problem was that the plus sign was not very clear if it was used to add a new word or for a new category. So I changed the home screen to represent the other features available in the app, and the users could also access frequently used cards or recently added words, and could also check their progress as to how often they are using the app or how many words they've used frequently, looked at frequently. And I've added the plus sign at the screen for easy access at the screen at the bottom. The next problem my users flagged was the onboarding screen. Most of my users did not know that it was an onboarding screen, so I've now clearly indicated that it is a screen which can be used to understand the features of the app, and I've also indicated where they could tap to find more information. The next problem was that the wireframe used for saving a new word had the same name for saving a category and saving a word. So I've now changed it to have a toggle function. So either a new word could be saved or a new category, and both of them can be accessed from the plus sign. The next problem was that there was no way to edit a word right after it was created or even in the stack. So I created a way to access the edit screen. So I first created a wireframe for editing the word, and then created two access points for the screen. One was from the individual card, and the other was right after they saved the word. The next problem which I addressed was about the home screen itself. The users felt that the home screen needs to have all the information on it other than just the categories available. So I changed the home screen to access various other information from the app, like recently viewed cards or frequently used cards, and check their progress as well. So finally, I think I've fleshed out the idea using the design framework. I now have clear understanding of who my users are. My users are those who want to learn new vocabulary or a technical term, and they quickly want to jot it down while studying. They would use this mobile application when they encounter a word during their studies and while usually working, and they would like to retrieve this word on a later date for new ideas or for creating documents. So basically, my users want to have a seamless flow from sending a word to the app, creating its definition, and then retrieving the word later on. The next steps I would do is test the new wireframes with the same users to understand if there are any more issues, and then create mid and high fidelity prototypes and test again. What I learned is that I've learned to fully appreciate the structured method of using design thinking to approach a problem and find a solution based primarily on user requirements. What I'd like to do next is I would like to use different techniques for each step of the process and approach the solution from various angles using different techniques. So I'm quite looking forward to the next step in this course. Thank you.